Hi all, welcome to Snowflake Scholars Knowledge Sharing Sessions. Today's topic is data loading. Data loading is a very vast topic that includes many topics like put command, copy command, Snowflake stages, and file formats. So we will divide this data loading sessions into chunks, and we'll try to discuss each one of it in detail. So, in these sessions, we will discuss on put command in detail. Okay. So, what is data loading in the Snowflake? We'll try to understand it. Data loading is nothing but to load the data into the Snowflake from outside sources. Okay. What are those outside sources? We already discussed about many data sources that we can bring data from into the Snowflake, like websites, applications, local files, and cloud storage accounts, right? So I'm going to discuss with the local files data loading. That means I have local files in my desktop locations, and I'll try to load that files into the Snowflake in this session. So, to load the data into the Snowflake from desktop locations, first we should have a input file, right? So, we have several input files here, okay? But before loading that input file, we should have some understanding on the data in that input file, like what is the file type, is it CSV, JSON, Parquet, ORC, Avro. So like this, we have to know what kind of file we are trying to load it into the Snowflake. That is the first point. Next, we need to understand how many columns are there in the particular input file, okay, and what are the column names, and what are the data types of those columns, and if it is a CSV file, then what is the delimiter. Okay, so first we'll try to understand the input file which I have in hand now. So in this session we will try to load the CSV file, okay, and in future sessions we will try to load JSON file. So I have opened one of the file from here, emp1. This is a file, okay, and see how this file looks like. Here we have a header part here. This is a line which includes column names. That is why this is called as column header. That means this file includes a header along with the records here. So each record is separated with a new line here, right? We need to understand what is the delimiter of a record. Record means a row, and these are all values are column values, and they are separated or delimited with a comma. So here the delimiter is a comma. And what are the data types we need to understand? uh, it is a number here, so we are going to use a number, a here name as a varchar or a string, and this is a date. Again, salary value is again a number, department number is a value is a number here. So when I'm talking about the data types, what are those data types? Let us understand each. So there are several data types in the Snowflake, but whatever I listed out here are the important data types, that is varchar, string, char, number, date, timestamp, boolean, variant. What is varchar? Varchar uh, is a data type which allows the values, all alphanumeric values, along with the UTF-8 characters. Okay, from 1 to 16 byte size, it can handle the data. By default, if you do not give any specific precision here, by default it will handle 16 byte data. Okay, but we can specify the uh, size you want to handle it in that particular column value with the varchar type. Okay. Next, string. String is same as varchar. There is no change. So basically, varchar will be used like city names. Will be used for city names, names like this small column values, small string value names will be used with the varchar. But long values like addresses or comments, feedbacks, or any paragraph kind of column values, we will use string. That is the best practice we will use. Okay, by default string is going to handle 16 bytes of data. And char is used when you want to support one character length, like here I gave examples. Male is represented with M, female represented with F, S represented with Y, N represented with N. Those kind of values you can handle with the char data type. Next, number. Number already I think it is self-explanatory. Whenever we are trying to handle integer kind of values or decimals or float values, you can use this number. Okay, and by default it is going to handle maximum 38 size and 0 decimal numbers. If you want to use more decimals, you can specify a number here. Okay, now and date. I'll try to explain this in detail, how to give the precision values and the scale values. Let's finish off the high level understanding here. Date. Date is nothing but again a data type which can handle date values. Like by default, Snowflake is going to handle the date format year hyphen month hyphen date. That is the default value. But if you wish to, you can change the date format as well while you are creating the table structure. Okay, timestamp. This data type is used when you want to handle the timestamp related values, like along with the date, time, hours, minutes, seconds, and even time zone as well. Okay, boolean is a data type, I think you already know. Boolean uh, is used to handle two values, only two values, either true or false, 0 or 1. So that type of values we will use it in boolean. Variant. Variant is nothing but a universal data type which can handle any kind of data. That means a value that can be handled with any of these data types can be handled by variant, and any value that cannot be handled by these data types can be handled by the variant. That is why this is called as universal data type. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now we will see how we will give the precisions for each of the uh, data types. So I am opening a new notepad here. Okay, and if we have to give varchar with a specified length, then you need to give varchar and 1000 or 10 or 20, anything. So this is the precision value for the varchar. That means it is going to handle maximum 1000 bytes of length of your column value. And a string also you can specify the number here, but generally we don't specify the precision value for string. If a string is used when you want to use maximum byte size, so string need not to be given with the value. Char char you have to give a precision value 1. It can handle multiple values also, like 4, 2, like this. So uh, that means it can handle only 4 characters or 2 characters or 1 character. So whenever you are trying to use a small values, char is the best data type to use. Coming to the number is, it's an important, please focus on this. So number, if you are giving 5 comma 2, that means you are allowing the number 4 numbers on the left side, and after decimal you are allowing only 2 numbers. If 3 is given, that means you are allowing 3 numbers over here, but you will not be allowed like more than 5 numbers on the left side, or any number more than 3 numbers on the right side. So these are invalid numbers for this precision values and scale. This is called precision and this is called scale, right? Date. Date, I already told you the default format Snowflake will handle is year, month, and date. That's This is a default format, but you can change format. You When you want to maintain like date first, month 2023, by you are giving specified format. We can discuss that in detail in future sessions. And coming to the timestamp. Timestamp is handled like this. By default it is going to give like 20 hours and 30 minutes, 34 seconds, and also it is going to give you milliseconds along with the time zone like this. Okay, this is GMT time zone. So it is going to give the time zone like this. You can change your format if you want to change this format. How do you want to see the timestamp, or if you don't want the time zone? Boolean you already know, and variant I think it's already explained. It can handle any value if that is not handled by any of this data types, or you can use when you are not you can use variant when you are not sure that what kind of value will come and sit in your column. Okay, okay, done. So we understood about the file and also data types required. Now our next step is what we need to do in order to load the table. Okay, first we should have a table, right? In the Snowflake table, at least see here we have 4 records. Okay, those 4 records should go and sit somewhere in the Snowflake table. Where is the table then? We need to create the table. So let's go and create the table here. Okay, so I'm creating a new worksheet here. Since we are going to discuss on the put command, I am naming it as put here. Okay, okay. So before you are um, before you are trying to create any table in the Snowflake, first you have to set up the context. What is context? So set context. I am just writing commands here so that you can use it. So context consists of four four things. One is role, okay, and warehouse, warehouse, and database, okay, database, and schema. Okay, we already discussed what is database and what is schema in the previous sessions. Okay, in database we will have multiple schemas. In schema we will have multiple tables, views, all objects like file format, stages, and all. So we need to set all these uh, before trying to create any data here. Okay, let me set the context. So how to set the context? Okay, either you can go here, and select the role you want to use it. So select the role. I have selected the role, and now see I am selecting the warehouse. Second step is selecting the warehouse. Okay, we have selected the warehouse also, and see you are able to see dev role and computer warehouse. So here these two are done, but uh, a good developer will never ever use UI for setting the roles. What he will do, he will use role. You will use the commands, SQL commands, like this: use role and role name. Okay, so if you execute this, it will set up the role for you. Okay, how to use a warehouse? How to set up the warehouse? Use warehouse use warehouse and warehouse name. What is our warehouse name? Compute underscore WH. So compute underscore WH. We are using this warehouse. Okay, done. Uh, these two things are done, setting the role, setting the warehouse. Let's see if they are set it correctly or not. How we can check it? Select select current role. How to check in which role we are in? Select current role. Let's see. It should give dev role for me, because I have set the context with dev role. Okay, I have executed it dev role. Now what is the current warehouse we are using? Okay, select current warehouse. Okay, executed it. Okay, okay, we are using warehouse. Okay, now we have to set up the database and schema. Here I need to mention one point here. It is not mandatory to set up the database. It is not mandatory to set the databases. So now we already have a core database here and a raw schema here. So ho- first of all, we'll see how to set the database and see how we can use without setting the database and schema also. Okay, how to set the database? You either you can select here like this core and select here and select this one, but I'm not selecting it. I'm using a SQL commands to set the database. Use database name. What is our database name? Core. Okay, okay, I'm executing it. Done. Now use schema. Which schema we want to use? Snowflake is in case sensitive. Okay, it's not case sensitive. So use schema. And what is our schema name we want to use? Raw. So use schema raw. Right. Okay. Done. Now let's see what is in which database we are in. Current database. Okay. See. Yeah. Yes. We are in core database. In which schema you are in? Select current schema. Correct? Okay. Done. Okay. Yes, we are in raw schema. Fine. If I did not set up the raw, then we can simply come here on the left side and extend this your database and extend this raw and simply double click on this schema name. Okay, see what happened. As soon as I double click, again I'll show you. See, as soon as I double Okay, as soon as I double click, it is again given me a fully qualified name of that schema. So I can just use role, use schema, this one. Okay, we can simply use like this also. Okay, now we will try to create a table here. Okay, we will try to create a table with the same structure as this file, because we want to load this file. Okay, we'll take the column names, because same column names we need to create, right? So I'm creating a table here. Create or replace table name. Where I want to create it? Here, right? So I'm just going and double click on it. Again, see, it came here. And what is the name I want to create? Emp underscore load. Okay, emp raw emp. Oh wait, emp source. We will create emp source as a table here. Okay, now what are the column names? You have to open the braces and end the braces. Inside that you will add all the column structure here. So what is the column structure here? Names are these. So let us take each one and try to add it. Emp name, what is the data type? Number, right? So number, and I want to use precision 5 and decimal. For emp number there will be no decimal, so I am giving as 0. Okay, comma, done. And emp e name, I am using e name. So what we can give? Varchar. varchar. Okay, and precision maximum I'll try to use 1000 bytes here. Okay, done. That is also done. What is job manager? Always um, give a comma here after every column name. Okay, now job is also a alphanumeric value, right? So varchar, and how much I'm giving? I'm giving 1000 as the, you can give anything, you can give anything. So but value should be suitable here. Okay, and next comma I have given. Manager name is also, or manager id. We'll see what they are giving in manager job manager. Yeah, in manager they are giving number here, so I'm trying to give a number. Correct, number. And how much? That is also an employee id, so I'm giving 0 as a decimal here. Okay, done. Next, hire date. What is the hire date timestamp? I think by now you know it's a date timestamp. And salary is a number. Maybe we'll think that it has some decimals. Okay, okay, so number, and I am giving decimal as uh, 10, precision as 10, and scale as uh, 3, so that it can handle 3 numbers after the decimal. Okay, commission also same. Commission also I'm giving the same. Okay, right. And department number, it's a pure number, it will not have decimal, so I'm not giving the number. I can have only 5. At the end of the last column you need not to give the comma, otherwise you will get the syntax error. So just see how we are creating the table. Our table structure is ready. Now I am trying to execute this to create the table. Let's see if this command works. Okay, I'm running it. Hire date. See here comma is missed. That is why the error has come. Right? Okay, done. Super. Our table has created successfully. Let's see. Let's see if, let me refresh here, refresh it, and see if the EMP source table is existing or not. Okay, tables, yes. Let me refresh it again. Yeah, see EMP source is available now. It created. Let's see what are all the data types it has. So click on it. Click on it and see. Yes, EMP number is represented with hash symbol here. That means number. E-name, string, that is varchar, job, varchar, manager, number, hire date. See date, and fixed salary, commission, department number. Yeah, these are all the data types we created with. Okay, our table is ready now. That means we can load the data into the table. Now we have 4 records right here, so we will load the data into the table. Okay, now we need to understand how to load the data into the file. Snowflake has certain steps to load the data into the file. Here see, we have set up the context, we have a db. If there is no db, we need to create it, or if there is no schema, we have to create it and create the table in the schema. So let me tell you how to create the db and create schema here, because I skipped those steps. um, Okay. See, I'm just giving the steps here how to create the DB. Create or replace database. Okay. Create or replace database and your new DB. Something, new core, something like this. Okay. Okay. See, I created the schema. Let me refresh it. Let me refresh it here and see if that um DB has come. Yes. See, once the DB is created, Snowflake is giving us default schemas, information schema, public schema. We already discussed about public schema, right? Public is used. You can create whenever you want to show the tables to others also. Whoever using this dev role, when you create the table in public, they can, every user with that dev role can able to see the data here. Okay, information schema is used to store the metadata. We will discuss about this in detail later. Okay, right now we have a db but do not have our custom schema, so create our custom schema, create or replace schema, schema and schema name. What is our schema? New raw schema. Okay, done. I am creating a new raw schema. Okay, now we will try to use this new core new raw. Okay, that is why I am recreating this table in new core. I am removing this and refreshing here to see my schema, new raw schema, and double clicking on it. See, as soon as I double click, I double click, we got our DB name, schema name, and we need to place a dot here and we'll recreate the table in our new schema. Okay, done. Let's see. See, EMP source created successfully. I am refreshing my uh, databases here and see, in new core, in new raw, our table EMP source is created successfully. Okay, now our table is ready. Then what are the next steps we can follow to load the data into the table? Okay, for that you need to understand this diagram clearly. Okay, let's understand this diagram from current slide. I am just starting the slideshow here. Okay, see, first of all, what we understood, we are trying to load the data into the table from where? Desktop location, local files, right? Like from Linux FTP files or Mac folders. So we can load the data. So first step is, we have a file in our desktop and we have a table in our Snowflake. So we have to bring the records from that file into this Snowflake table. So Snowflake needs some steps to be performed to load the data into the table. Let's see the each step successfully here. Okay, first step is, we have to put that CSV file. We have CSV file, right? So we have to put that CSV file in the stage. Through which command we have to put command? Okay, so through put command we have to place that file in the Snowflake stage. Okay, we will understand what is stage in the next slide. For now, remember, this is a temporary memory landing location for our file. Okay, temporary memory landing location in the Snowflake for our file. Okay, we will put the file in the stage. What is the next step? What is the next step? We have to load the records from that file which is there in our stage. We have to load the records from that file, not file, records from that file, from that file to our table. How we can load that? Using the copy command. Okay, so what is the conclusion point here? To put the file in the stage, we need put command. To load the records from that file into the Snowflake table, we need a copy command. This is not suffice for Snowflake. It needs a file format which explains the file, what kind of file we are using to load it. Either it is a CSV, okay, or JSON or Avro or Parquet. We have to explain the Snowflake what kind of file is it, using the file format. Okay, if it is a CSV file, then what is the delimiter? What is the field delimiter? What is the record delimiter? Okay, whether the values are optionally enclosed by codes, all these informations we have to explain to Snowflake via a file format. Okay, via a file format. Then what is file format here? So it's an object which can explain whether we are trying to load a structured data or a semi-structured data. What is structured data? Okay, CSV files or TSV files or DAT files comes under the structured files. Okay, comes under the structured files. And semi-structured, JSON, Parquet, Avro, XML, ORC comes under the semi-structured. So before loading the data into the Snowflake table, we have to tell the Snowflake, hey, Snowflake, we are using CSV file with delimiter, comma delimiter, or new line as a record delimiter. all those we need to explain the file format. Then it will successfully read the data from that particular file type and successfully load the data using the copy command into the table. Okay. Okay. Now we understood each step. First step is we need to have an input file. Second step, we need to have a stage in the Snowflake. Third step, we need a file format object. Fourth step, a Snowflake table. Fourth step, already we created it. We created a table in the Snowflake. And first step, we already have an input file. So we need to focus on 2 and 3. First, let us discuss about the stage. What is stage? Okay. Okay, let me go to the next slide which explains the type of stages here. So Snowflake stage, I told you, it is a uh, temporary memory landing location for your file. Okay, Snowflake stage is of two types. Okay, SF means Snowflake here. Snowflake stage is of two types, internal and external. Internal stage is used when you want to load the files from the local paths like FTP paths, Mac file paths, or the Windows local paths, desktop locations. And external is used to load the data from cloud storage accounts. Okay. Okay, so do not focus on the external now, focus only on the internal. Okay, internal stage is again about the external we will discuss in the future sessions when we are discussing about the cloud integrations with Snowflake. Okay, now coming back to the internal is again of three types. First is user stage, table stage, named internal stage. Okay, three types: user stage, table stage, named internal stage. What is user stage? Okay, every user in the Snowflake, whenever you create a Snowflake account or your company creates a user for you in the Snowflake account, Snowflake automatically creates for you a temporary memory location, that is temporary landing location, a stage for you. Okay, that is called a user stage. That is a user stage. We will look into practically on this one. Okay, and what is temporary stage? Table stage. Table stage means whenever you are creating any table in the Snowflake, automatically Snowflake will create a table stage for you without asking. Okay, without asking, it will create for you a table stage. And named internal stage is nothing but an explicit name, an explicit stage you are creating by yourself by giving a desired name. Okay, table stage can be of two types, temporary and permanent, and named internal also temporary or permanent. That means you can have temporary so that you can delete it whenever not needed. Permanent, you can delete explicitly. We will discuss about this. For now, remember that there are three stages: user, table, and named internal. And how the user stage is represented in the Snowflake: dollar, at the rate symbol, tilt is a user here. At the rate tilt symbol represents user stage. At the rate percentile with the table name you created in the Snowflake will represent the table stage like this. And finally, at the rate stage name, you some name you will give while creating the stage, right? That stage name with at the rate, prefixing with at the rate, that in that way will represent the stage name. Even external stage also represented with at the rate and the external stage name you have given. Okay, this is all about types of stages. We will discuss in detail on this in the next session. um, let's stop here, and in the coming session we will use all these stages to load the data into the Snowflake table from our desktop location. Okay, thank you so much for your time.